Hi, I'm Todd Heitkamp, the owner of Dakota Angler here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, with this week's 2-minute fishing report. Well, folks, as the year has been, the story has been a kind of a week of two halves. We had a very windy, snowy, blizzardy in parts of the state, parts of the area. Then the other half was well above normal temperatures, and we still have plenty of great ice out there. Some of the areas have been kind of windblown as far as snow is concerned, especially up in the northeastern part of the state. But again, plenty of ice out there, especially, let's say, north of Sioux Falls. If you're in the Sioux Falls area, walking out shouldn't be a problem. Areas out to the north, they're still driving out there. So again, remember, the calendar has turned to March. So keep that in mind as the ice conditions can change dramatically from the morning to the afternoon. But right now, we got a good solid 2 to almost 3 feet of ice in some areas. As far as the fishing report is concerned, again, it has really been impacted by the weather across the area. Some days were fantastic, and the next day it's been dead quiet. But the lakes that produced walleyes this past week up in the northeast included Indian Springs, Bitter, Goose, Wabe, Lynn, Blue Dog, Three Buck, also Dry Lake by Clark, Casey Slough, and then also Opitz. Down the southeastern part of the state, lakes that produced walleye included Dry Lake by Willow Lake, also Ponset, Thompson, Whitewood, 81 Ponds, Henry, and that bite has kind of tapered off quite a bit. I think a lot of pressure on that lake definitely impacted the bite, to say the least. Other lakes included Spirit, Sinai, a few being caught there. Also Island and Twin. And Twin, the lake there, again, remember it's a trophy lake, and the bite has been best from late afternoon to the post-sunset hours. As far as the baits that guys have been using around the area for the walleyes, a lot of rattle jigs this past week. And I think that solely has to do with the weather. A lot of Northland buckshot spoons being used, VMC rattle spoons, clam blade spoons. Also the larger pinhead minnows. Didn't have a rattle, but it seems like the glow ones, especially the glow Wonder Bread and the glow chartreuse Wonder Bread, seem to be doing well. And then also the rattle cast masters have been doing the trick the past week. As far as the perch bite is concerned, again, that right now the perch are going to start getting bigger with the spawn coming up here pretty soon. But the bite has definitely been impacted by the weather. Lakes that produce perch include Stink Lake up by Eden, and then also Pius, Big Stone, Bitter, also Wab Bay, 81 Ponds, and then also both dry lakes by Clark as well as Willow Lake, and then Thompson, Ponset, and then also Laramie Slough. A lot of people kind of forgot about that out by Salem. But again, a lot of smaller ones, but you got to sort through the smaller ones to get to the bigger ones. But if you're looking to take some a family out, some young kids, put them on some fish, that would be the ticket. That would be the place to go this next week. And then the crappie bite has definitely picked up around the area. The big crappie bite right now, and this is no secret, it's been out for a while. Thompson, the Schaefer Slough area, has been producing quite a few crappies there. The biggest problem there is just the number of people that are out on the ice at that location. Other lakes that produce crappie included Ponset, Sinai, Vermilion, and then also Madison. Now, what have guys been doing to catch the panfish around the area? Really, the only thing that I've really noticed the change this past week has been more in the plastic area, and it seems like maybe the weather has had really an impact or a role to play with that. But a lot of clam and Berkeley and also Euro tackle plastics, a lot of the creature baits have been working really well. We'll talk about some of the plastics in this week's version of Todd's Tackle Tips coming up. But otherwise, Wonder Bread pinhead minnows have been working really well. Northland forage minnows have also, we haven't talked about that all winter long, but that's really been the ticket this past week. And then also drop chain lures such as the Haley, the Pilkey have also done the trick as well. In this week's edition of Todd's Tackle Tips, we're going to talk about plastics. We really haven't talked about plastics much at all this winter season, but it seems like this past week the plastic bite really has taken off. And the nice thing about plastics, folks, even though I sell live bait for our business, and live bait I don't think it can ever be replaced. But the nice thing about plastics is they never go bad, and so you can buy them and keep them in your tackle box. And times when the bite's a little bit tougher, or you want to just change things up a little bit, you can pull out the plastics and try them as well. Some of the newer plastics that we have in that have been working really well is the plastic by Euro Tackle. Some of the creature baits that they've been using, I'll show you a little zoom up to that. That's been working really well. Also, the clam plastics, the Mackie plastics have been just phenomenal, to say the least. Has just been really producing a lot of fish. Again, they come in a number of different colors, a number of different shapes. So stop on by to take a look at them. Also, the power bait. ice plastics have been working really well this year. And this, especially this past week, has really been taking off. So again, we have a number of different plastics around the store here, as well as the fishing assault plastics that many of you have seen at the show, the Ice Institute, that is. So again, we have them on hand. So again, I recommend you to use the plastics when live bait doesn't work. You can always start using the plastics and see, but again, what seems like with the more active weather that we've had, the plastic bite has really taken off. The other thing I want to make sure you are aware of is that if you because it really is a trick on making sure that those plastics are rigged properly to get that tail to move in the fashion that you want it to. And to help you deal with that, a lot of companies have jigs that are already pre-rigged with plastics, like the VMC. Here's an example of the tungsten. This is the love bug plastic, and it has a little bit of a flapper tail to it. Also, the wing ding is another tungsten jig that VMC offers that is already pre-rigged. Very, very effective. Also, the custom jigs and spins. We've all talked about the shrimple and the ratzel. Here's the tungsten version of it, the tutzel. Again, that tail provides a little bit more of an action that will maybe trigger a bite on certain days. So again, if you're not really comfortable with rigging your own plastics on your jigs, you can stop on by and pick up these pre-rigged jigs that will work just as good, if not better. So again, plastics are not necessarily always a thing to use, but it's always nice to have in your arsenal, in your tackle box, just in case if the live bait doesn't work. So if you're interested in the plastics, stop on by. We'll be more than happy to show you the plastics by themselves and also the pre-rigged jigs that we have on hand here at the store. And now it's time to take a look at a few photos that you sent in to me this past week. And remember, folks, if you'd like your photo included in next week's version of the 2-Minute Fishing Report, please send it to me. Send it to Todd at DakotaAngler.com or post it to our Facebook wall. And if I use your photo, your name will be entered into a monthly drawing for a $25 gift certificate. And folks, before we end this week's report, and by the way, I greatly appreciate you watching from week in and week out. Without your support, we would not be able to do this. And so again, I greatly appreciate it, as well as my entire family. But before ice season is over with, don't hesitate to stop on in and take a look at all the great deals that still remain. We still have some otter shacks, a few clam shacks as well, a few Strike Master augers, and all that is on sale, and including electronics. So the great selection that you've expected from Dakota Angler all year long still remains. So check us out on the web at DakotaAngler.com, and we can ship it out to you as soon as possible. Or if you are in the Sioux Falls area, make sure you stop on by at 1120 East Benson Road. Well, folks, that's this week's version of the 2-Minute Fishing Report. For Dakota Angler, I'm the owner, Todd Heitkamp, and as we say around here, fish on! We'll see you next week. And again, thanks for watching. Greatly appreciate it. Stay healthy, and folks, stay safe. Hi, I'm Todd Heitkamp, the owner of Dakota Angler here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, with this week's 2-Minute Fishing Report.